To be honest with you all, and I always try to be, I've been holding out on doing this episode on Dokken for a while, and the B-side that we're going to be looking at. Why? Well, because I simply couldn't decide which album to focus on to compare it with. And as you'll find out soon, if you don't already know, there are really two camps when it comes to the song and the albums that surround it. I got into Dokken way after their heyday. Here in Australia, Dokken were not really a household name, not in the notoriety of, say, Poison, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses and other contemporaries. If you read guitar magazines, you would have come across Geroge Lynch, of course, but I couldn't find a lot about Dokken's Australian exposure in my research. I'm happy, however, to be informed on this one. But I did score a copy of the box set of Dokken a few years ago and really got into their first 5 albums, including the excellent live release of Beast from the East. So while not being a complete newbie to the band, I still really am finding my way. So let's do this. Whether you're part of the Lynch mob, a hardcore Dokken devotee, or just checking them out for the very first time, let's strap ourselves in and go rockin' with Dokken in this episode of Shoulda Been on the Album. The first incarnation of Dokken was formed back in 1978, led by Don Dokken, who had been playing clubs in LA, and the band would appear in various guises. However, in 1981, Dokken teamed up with guitarist Geroge Lynch, drummer Mick Brown, with Juan Croucier, later of Rat, on bass. Together, they recorded Breaking the Chains. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Didn't Don Dokken release Breaking the Chains as a solo album? Yep. With a bit of a hodgepodge of a band. And then as Dokken twice. Yep, again. With parts re-recorded, the album remixed and remastered. Look, there's a lot of disagreement from the band members about the whole origin of that first album, with both Lynch and Dokken having a fair bit to say about it. But look, I'm not going to get into the he said, they said stuff, because it's like trying to unknot a snake that's dancing with a pretzel. Jeff Pilson joined Dokken just as they began work on their second album, Tooth and Nail, released in 1984. It was a hit, selling more than 1 million copies in the US, and contained great tracks like Just Got Lucky, Alone Again, and Into the Fire. Come 1985, the band released Under Lock and Key, again asserting their authority in the genre, with singles like The Hunter and the classic In My Dreams. Dokken would contribute the hit Dream Warriors to the A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 soundtrack, but then they took some time off. However, in 1987, they released Back for the Attack, which again proved hugely successful and became Dokken's third release to go platinum. They toured extensively throughout 1988, culminating in the live release Beast from the East. Dokken were riding high, and it was like they could do no wrong, but, well, you know the story. Personal differences, especially between Dokken and Lynch, would split the band at the height of their popularity, and the members would go on to work with other projects, notably Lynch Mob, MSG, Don Dokken's own solo projects, and more. Come 1993, Dokken and Lynch would bury the hatchet and come back together for an album called Dysfunctional. Talk about ironic? Tensions would continue to flare up, with Lynch wanting more control and Dokken not happy with the subsequent releases, and in 1997, Lynch was fired from the band. Over the next decade or so, the band would have various players in various roles, but Dokken would continue to release albums including Erase the Slate in 1999, Long Way Home in 2002, Hell to Pay in 2004, and Lightning Strikes Again in 2008. But none of these featured Geroge Lynch, with Reb Beach from Winger, John Norum of Europe fame, and also John Levin taking lead axe duties. Today, the band is comprised of Don Dokken, of course, John Levin, Chris McCarville, and Bill B.J. Tampa, with Lynch stepping in while on tour. Plus, they released an album last year entitled Heaven Comes Down. But for today, we're heading back to the 80s, of course, and checking out a track that had an album named after it, but actually didn't make the final track listing. The song, Back for the Attack. Back for the Attack was written by Dokken, and it appeared on the flip side of Dream Warriors, Dokken's track for the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 soundtrack. It was sometimes paired with Paris is Burning, and it also appeared on the single of Burning Like a Flame. Back for the Attack was recorded during the sessions for Under Lock and Key, but didn't make the album. Later, the song did pop up as a bonus track on re-released versions of the album of the same name, even though it wasn't recorded for the album Back for the Attack. But more on that later. Lyrically, the song has the protagonist stating his case.
You needed love, so now I'm back. Rolling the dice could leave you flat. I win, you lose. You're in trouble, 'cause I'm back.
And in the heat of the night, he's keen to make his point.
Face to face, now I'm gonna show you what you got to lose when I give it to you. Can't keep waiting for you.
But there's a seriousness that comes with it all, and almost an ultimatum of no more messing around with others.
All or nothing, the cards are on the table. No one plays for free. It's just you and me.
The chorus slams the point home, implying that even though she went looking elsewhere, he was always the one on her mind.
'Cause I'm back. Back for the attack. Now I'm back. 'Cause you could not let me go. Back for the attack.
Now, I'm not saying that it's something romantic here, but damn, it feels like a lesson to be learned in appreciating the one you're with. Musically, the song kicks off with Dokken's vocal wail, with the band punctuating his sung phrases. Does the song sound a little bit like Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, or is that just me? Lynch's guitars are right up front and act as a great foil to the vocals. The chorus absolutely slams with gang vocals and driving drums and bass. The sound production is big and punchy, and the song looms like the monster it is. Yeah, I really like the song Back for the Attack, and it's hard to understand the thought behind leaving it off the album. So, where does it go? So here is where I got stuck. Sure, the song was recorded during the sessions for Under Lock and Key, but it popped up on the Rock Candy and bonus editions of Back for the Attack. Yet, sonically, it doesn't sound like it fits on that album. It's far better with Under Lock and Key. And yet, they borrowed the title of that song for their fourth album. Plus, both albums are classics. Shit. My gut goes that it's probably in line for Under Lock and Key. After all, Back for the Attack was recorded then. Unchain the Night is epic, even with its tolling bell intro. The two singles of The Hunter and In My Dreams are spot on, and you can't look past the power of Lightning Strikes Again on side one, and the melodic rock of Don't Lie to Me either. The two ballads of Jaded Heart and Slipping Away are fine too, and they're not too saccharine. Will the Sun Rise is dramatic in style and theme, and the whole album speeds to its conclusion with Till the Living End. Damn, it's pretty much a complete album, and the flow is fantastic. Okay, so what about the album that bears the song's title? Even at 62 minutes and 13 tracks in length, it's hard to fault Back for the Attack. Kiss of Death and Prisoner kick it off in style. Add to it the four singles of Dream Warriors, Burning Like a Flame, Heaven Sent and So Many Tears, and you really can't go wrong. Plus, you also have excellent album tracks like the instrumental tour de force of Mr. Scary or the funky groove of Sleepless Nights. Sure, there might be one or two slow spots in the long run time of the album, but as I said before, the sound of the band is grittier, harder and more raw on the Back for the Attack album than its predecessor. So unless they re-recorded the title track, it probably wouldn't have fit. So it's back to Under Lock and Key. And so it's hard for me to take anything out. But I'm inclined to drop one of the ballads, either Slippin' Away or Jaded Heart. I reckon that Back for the Attack could have filled either of those spots instead, and made the album even stronger. But I'm splitting hairs here. Add it as an 11th track, put it on either side. Back for the Attack, the song, deserved better than being a B-side. End of story. Dokken has a slew of rare, bonus, unreleased and non-album tracks that are worth checking out, and quite a few of them popped up on the Lost Songs from 1978 to 1981 album. But there's also Japanese bonus tracks from their later releases, like When the Good Die Young, How Many Lives, Deep Waters, Upon Your Lips, Sign of the Times, Only Heaven Knows, Let It Be True, and so much more. And no matter where you stand in the Dokken camp, the Don side or the George side, or just being a casual observer just like me, it's hard to deny the breadth of material produced over several decades. Now, I know a lot of people are going to have their own thoughts on this video, so definitely drop your comments below. I'd love to read them and get the opportunity to respond and have a bit of a conversation. And if you like what you've seen and heard, please like and subscribe. That really does make the world of difference to this little channel. And remember, if you have an idea for a B-side or a rare track that you think I should check out, please let me know. You can email me on shouldvebeenonthealbum@gmail.com or check us out on Facebook. But until next time, my name is Drew, and you've been watching Should Have Been on the Album. Cheers.
You're in trouble.
I've been holding out on this episode on... Get it right. So let's do this. Whether you're a part of the Lynch mob, a hardcore Dokken devotee, what's the word? Harder and definitely more raw on the back for the Attack album. So unless they re-recorded the title track, unless they had have re-recorded the title track, it probably... Sure, there might be one or two slow... I can't get it.